Your job is to just take notes today. There's not going to be an assignment with this. Okay, we'll do an assignment on Monday. Okay. Now, I want you to put the symbol inside that, 4 and 8. You're going to use your number line to figure it out. Now, remember, these are positives if they don't have signs. What's closer to my calculator? Is it positive 4 or positive 8? Positive 8 is closer to the calculator. I'm putting the calculator here because this is the bigger side. Okay, 8's closer. So, I want you to make an arrow to the 8 and the sign has to open to that number. Now I want you to put that same sign here and here. Now what we're going to do is divide each side by 2. Okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2. And over here, 8 divided by 2 is 4. Those are both positive. Now put your sign. So positive 2, positive 4. Which one's closer to my thing? Well, positive 4 is closer than positive 2. So here's the bigger number. Sign opens to the positive 4. So the sign is the same as it is right there. Okay. Now, divide by negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2. Negative 2. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. Now what's closer? Now they're both negative. We're comparing negative 2 and negative 4. So those are over here, negative 2, negative 4. What's closer to here? Negative 2 is closer. Okay. Now the sign opens to the negative 2. It always opens to the bigger number. Ooh, what happened to the sign? Ooh, it's switched around. Okay. Now there's a reason for that. Here you're dividing each side, both the 4 and the 8, by a positive 2, but here you're dividing the 4 and the 8 by a negative 2. So the sign was the same when we divided by positive 2, but it's different when we divided by negative 2. Okay. I'm going to do 3 more of those trials here. Okay, so I have negative 10 and negative 8. They're both negatives. Okay. So find them both. Here's negative 8, here's negative 10. Which one's closer to the calculator? Negative 8's closer. Okay. So, sign has to open towards that number. Now put that same sign here and here, but now we're going to do operations with the negative 8 and the negative 2. Negative 10 and 2, sorry. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. And then I go to the other side, and negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Now what's closer? Negative 5, negative 4. Negative 4 is closer to the calculator than the negative 5 is. So negative 4 is closer. Open it towards the negative 4. Sign doesn't change. The reason why it doesn't, because even though you're dividing both sides by a positive 2. Positive 2, positive 2. Okay, now let's do the same thing. Let's divide by negative 2. So negative 10 divided by negative 2 is 5. And then negative 8 divided by negative 2 is 4. Now these are positives now. So we got positive 5 and positive 4. Which one's closer to the calculator? Well, here's positive 5, here's positive 4. Positive 5 is closer. So now the bigger number's over there, so the sign opens that way. Okay. Now, you notice how it switched? Look at the two signs. It switched around, didn't it? The reason why it did here and not here is because we're dividing by a positive number here, but we're dividing by a negative number here. Okay, now let's go to the next page, 9 and 6. Okay, remember if I don't have signs, they're both positive. What's closer, positive 9 or positive 6? Positive 9's closer, okay? So positive 9's closer, so the sign has to open to that, and then put that same sign down in these two. Now we're going to divide. We're going to take 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Be positive. If I didn't get a sign negative in front of it, it's automatically a positive. And I got 2. So now what's closer to my calculator? Is it positive 3 or positive 2? It's positive 3, isn't it? So that's your larger number. The sign has to open towards that. So it's not changing because I'm dividing each, the 9 and 6, by a positive 3. Now, I'm going to divide by negative 3. Negative 3. And 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So which one of those numbers is bigger? Well, let's look at our number line and see. Set the calculator there. Here's negative 3, here's negative 2. Negative 2 is closer to the calculator. So this is my bigger number, and that's where the sign has to open, and it's switched. The reason it switched, because when I divided, I was dividing each side by a negative. Okay, last one, negative 6, negative 8, okay? So what's closer to my calculator? Is it negative 6 or negative 8? Well, here's negative 6, here's negative 8. Negative 6 is closer, so that's your bigger number, so the sign has to open to that. So we go here and write the same thing. Now I'm guessing here I'm dividing by a positive 2, so I'm guessing the sign will be the same. Here I'm dividing by negative 2, so I'm guessing the sign will change here. It will go the other way. Now let's be sure. So we take negative 6 divided by 2, and that's negative 3. Then I take negative 8 divided by 2, and that's negative 4. So which one's bigger? Remember, I predicted the sign wasn't going to change. Okay. Well, let's see what one's closer. Negative 3 and negative 4. Well, they're right here. Negative 3 is closer to this side than negative 4 is. So opens to the bigger number, and the sign didn't change, just like I said. Now we're going to divide negative 6 by negative 2, and I got 3. It'd be positive 3. And then negative 8 divided by negative 2 is 4, which would be positive 4. Now which is closer, positive 3 or positive 4? Positive 4 is closer, isn't it? So there's a bigger number and the sign opens, so it changes. Now you're like, why is it doing that every time? Not changing here, but changing here. Because here I'm always dividing by a positive. Here I'm dividing both numbers by a negative. Now, you're going to kind of do what you did yesterday, but there's something you got to watch out for that you didn't have to watch out for the last couple days. See, last couple days you were just adding and subtracting. Now you're going to divide, and dividing's special. And here's why, when solving with these greater than and less than symbols. So your x is over here. It says times negative 2. I always like to circle the times part. Okay. And the opposite of times is divide. So I get rid of a times negative 2 with a divide by negative 2. Now, when you divide and you have these symbols here, if you're dividing by a negative, the sign has to switch. And we are dividing with a negative number here, so put switch sign. Switch sign. So you are going to switch that sign, and then you're going to divide by negative 2. Okay. So we now have x, the sign switch, and 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Now it's just like yesterday where I write down negative 5, circle. It's open to the negative 5, so when it's open to the number value, it goes this way. X, negative 5's here, so it's going this way, so it'll be negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. Okay, that's all your possible values for x. Now the next problem, I have the same thing. All these are going to be times. Now I'm going to divide by 5. Now is 5 negative? No, it's not. It doesn't have a negative sign, so we don't switch the sign. We keep the sign. Okay? So we put that very same sign. We do not flip it around. Here I was dividing by a negative number, so that's a switch sign. Here I'm dividing by a positive number, so that's keep sign. So I go divide by 5 to get rid of the times 5. And then I take 15 divided by 5. And that's 3. Circle. And what's it open to? It's open to the number. It's open to 3 again. So opening it to the number will go this way. Okay? So x, now 3, what are the first, go, and by the way, it's positive 3. So if you don't know where to look, it's automatically positive. So the first 3 numbers that way, positive 2, positive 1, 0. Okay, good. Now, negative 6 times x is greater than negative 18. Okay, so when I have times, I like to circle that. And I need to divide, and I will be dividing by negative 6. Now, am I dividing by a negative here or a positive here? I think we're dividing by a negative, so that means we have to switch the sign. Okay, so that sign has to now go the other way. Now I divide by the negative 6, because here you're dividing each by a negative. So we have x, and then I take negative 18 divided by negative 6, which is 3. Positive 3, so the number I plot is positive 3. Circle. And again, it's open to the positive 3. Okay, so opening to the positive 3 goes this way again. So far I've opened to the number on every problem. So I put x, so I go find positive 3. I think it's the same as up here, isn't it? So positive 2, positive 1, and 0. Okay. Okay, next problem. Four times x is less than 20. Okay, 4 times x is less than 20. Actually, hold on. I want to switch some of these. I did a bad job on this. I want to switch some of these. I want you to switch that this way. I want to change how I wrote the problem. Switch that this way. I want you to switch that this way. I want you to keep that the same. And I want you to switch that this way. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so there's a sign. So I got 4 times x, so I need to divide by 4. Now that sign is for do I have a negative 4 or a positive 4? It's a positive 4, so we keep the sign the same. Okay. Again, I switched those because I don't like how I wrote them. Okay, that's the only reason I did that. So keep sign. Okay, you're keeping the sign the same. So that sign will go the exact same way. So I divide by 4. Divide by 4. We have x. And then I take 20 divided by 4. And that's 5. Okay, so I put 5 right there. Okay, I circle above it. What's it open to? It's open to the x this time. So when it opens to the x, it heads this way. Okay. 3 numbers. So 5, it's positive 5 if it's not a sign. So positive 6, positive 7, positive 8. So again, I keep sign because I'm dividing by a positive. Now here, I'm going to be dividing by a negative 9. So when I'm dividing by a negative 9, the sign switches. So switch your sign. Okay, you got to keep an eye on that when you're dividing. You didn't have to when you're adding and subtracting, but when you're dividing, you do. So I switch that, go the other way, and now I divide each side by negative 9. So we're dividing by a negative and a negative, so that will switch it. So I have x, and then I take 18 divided by negative 9, and that's negative 2. Okay, so I put negative 2 there, circle. What's it open to? It's open to the x, okay? So opening it to the x takes it this way, okay? 3 numbers that way. So here's negative 2. So this way I'd have negative 1, 0, and positive 1. There, we're good. Okay, next one. 5 times x is less than 25, okay? So, when solving these things right here and with the number line and all that, we have times 5, so we're going to divide by 5. Now, am I dividing by a positive or a negative? I'm dividing by a positive, so I will keep the sign that I have. Okay, so keep it, and then do what you're going to do, divide by 5. So we have x, and then I take 25 divided by 5, that's 5. Since it didn't have a negative, it's a positive 5. So I put positive 5, I circle, okay? And it's open to the positive 5, okay? So when it's open to the positive 5, it's going to go, the number, it goes this way, okay? So 1, 2, 3. So here's positive 5, so it'd be positive 4, positive 3, positive 2. And it would keep going, but 3 is good enough. Put x on these number lines. Sorry, I forgot that. Alright, next one. Negative 2 times x is less than negative 12. Okay? So you see the symbol that we're given. So now it's negative 2 times x. Okay? And we have to divide by negative 2. Now we're dividing by a negative now. So we have to switch the sign. You have to switch the sign when you divide by a negative. You keep the sign if you're dividing by a positive, okay? So I divide by negative 2, and switch that sign around, okay? So we have x, and then negative 12 divided by negative 2 is 6. It'd be positive 6. Okay, so I put positive 6, circle, and it's open to the x, okay? So open to the x takes the graph this way, okay? What are the first 3 numbers that way? So here's positive 6, be positive 7, positive 8, positive 9.